Yo, I'm building my own dream. All because y'all said I couldn't.
Two for the team, we getting off of the block. I see him aiming at me, tell him get off of my jock. I'm gon' black out, I'm gon' black out, I'm gon' black out. Give me my ish, I'm back now.
So welcome back to another edition of the Build. Is this the Build? I gotta get.
Hey, it's a work in progress. I think it's just How to Build Your Dreams podcast. Yeah, it
I should get the name right before I try to introduce it. Welcome to the How to Build Your Own Dreams podcast. I am Erin Knight, the president of Build Your Own Dreams.
Yep, I am Brandon Boone. I am the VP. And today, or tonight, shall I say, we in Los Angeles. Last time we was in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Every time we link up, this is what we doing. So why are we in LA right now?
So at the top of this year, our goals, we refined our goals. Our goals were to kill in brand partnerships and kill in merch. So we wanted to take the focus off of what we do with our artists and extra consulting, all those things, and really wanted to focus on brand partnerships and merch. So the way that we're feeding into both of those is, one, more content. So we're recording the podcast.
Yep.
That more content leads to brand partnerships. Shout out to Belief for really pushing us to be consistent about this. And then the second goal was to sell merchandise. Our goal is to send creatives to therapy, to get our brand out there, and then to also develop a critical mass. So we are in LA right now because we just kicked off our tour. Our tour, I guess, I don't know if it has a name, but it's our
the
merch.
Dream Tour.
The Dream Tour.
The Dream Tour.
That's
And
good.
Last week we was in Austin, but we wasn't together. I did that date with my sister, and this is the second stop on the tour.
Yeah. So the second stop on the tour, our goal is to sell 1,000 shirts to send 10 people to therapy for 10 sessions. So we're going to talk about.
I'm about to say, go ahead, break it down.
We're going to.
Break it down.
Okay. So the goal is to sell 1,000 T-shirts to send 10 creatives to therapy for 10 sessions. We have the goal to send 12 this year, but we already have 2 in therapy. So we're going to finish the goal. We're going to hit 10. So it is, August 28th? Yeah. I'm going to date this. Typically, they say don't date things like this, but I'm dating it because we have to the end of the year.
Come on now.
To sell 1,000 shirts. And we
Manifestation.
want y'all to see this happen. So we're just going to tell you as it's happening because we're going to sell 1,000 shirts and 10 people are going to go to therapy. So that's what we're here for. We're at an event called Black on the... We were at an event today called Black on the Block.
Yeah. Black on the Block. We shouted them out last episode. So yeah, I'm trying to see where we want to go. I feel like, all right, before we recap Black on the Block, let's break down the BRD fund. Like why that's a part of what we do. I guess I can kick it off. I guess when we first, this been kind of the thing when we first started, you was like, I want mental health to be a part of what we do. So ever since we started, that's kind of been our foundation for us. Mm-hmm. So our slogan for mental health is, you can't build your own dreams without protecting your mental health. And that birthed our shirts. The very first shirt we dropped was therapy tees. So that's really got the message out there. People really start rocking with us because it was so simple, but it was powerful and impactful. So we started the BRD fund right when we started. Dang, we moved so fast.
Yeah, we launched in September, and we started selling the shirts in November. And we thought it had taken, we were like, why did it take us so long? We were mad because we wanted to launch the shirts when we announced that. So we really started in May. I reached out to Brandon in May. We started working almost immediately, right. But we officially launched our company in September of 2020. Yep,
that's when we LLC and everything.
Yeah, we were official, legal, and we told people about it.
Right.
So our birthday is the end of September. I think it's like September 21st.
Something like that.
So that's where we celebrate. That's where we mark our yearly goals and whatnot. But we also have a fiscal year in November because that's when we launch the shirts. regardless, we're saying by the end of this year, the actual calendar year, we're going to sell these shirts. So that's just a little bit of detail that you probably don't need.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we've been doing shirts since the beginning.
That's true. Yeah. We
Even though we
always.
thought it took, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it took us so long.
So we always was. I don't know. We was just heavy on brand forward. Like really putting the brand out there. I guess because of the name, like Build Your Own Dreams is so relatable. We really wanted to get that message out there, even though we a creative agency. You don't really see that a lot.
I think we were following in the footsteps a little bit of some of the people we were originally modeling our business after. Like LVRN and since the 80s.
Very brand forward as well.
Yeah. I think both of those were two of our bigger influences.
So Brew Fund, from the jump, proceeds from every sale help send therapy. Help send creators to therapy. So that's been since we started. I think last year we made it up to 4 creatives. This year we at 2. But it could have been more. It's just, I ain't gonna lie, it's growing pains. We're really trying to get the system right, the procedure on how we really want to run it. Because when we do it, like, we not just saying this just to say it. You know, you have those companies.
Yeah, this isn't just a pump fake so that people feel like, oh, you guys really care. Because people have challenged us. They're like, so why do you say mental health? Is it because it's in right now? And I'm like, oh, no, it's because I go to therapy every week.
Right,
and
yeah.
I need this to survive. So I wonder how many other people need it to survive and don't have access to it.
And even just those, it may not seem like a lot. Oh, y'all just only sending 2 credits to therapy, but
Therapy is expensive, first of all. Living witness.
Super
I'm a
expensive.
benefactor of the therapy fund. That's one thing I'll say. I'll put myself out there. I would not be able to go to therapy weekly if it wasn't for the therapy fund. So one of the benefits that we offer to our employees is also to participate. And something that my business coach told me is that you always have to be first. And so he was like, if you're paying for creators to go to therapy, of course, and Brandon has always supported that, like, yo, you should get on this too. Like, you shouldn't have to foot the entire bill of therapy. So BYOD pays for 50% of my therapy. So yeah, I'm a benefactor. I'm one of the people being paid for right now too.
Yeah, so it don't seem like a lot, but it's helping. We growing. Again, we trying to get to 10 more by the end of the year.
Not trying.
We will. You right.
Yoda says
we gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We gonna do it. So
did we explain the therapy fund thorough enough? I think so. Hopefully people understand that. If y'all have more questions about it, future episodes we can dive deeper, but it's just our initiative. We don't have a nonprofit. We make our money on the business side of music. We're marketers. We throw events. We do consulting, artist management, label services, branding. That's like our thing. That's how we make money. We want to send creatives we wanted to start just sending our artists to therapy. But then we started telling people our mission, and so many people were like, wow, I wish I could go. So we just opened it up to creatives at large. There's an application on our website if you want to apply. It's super easy, just byod.com. Apply to go to therapy. But yeah, that our desire to send our creators to therapy led to us saying, how can we do that? Oh, let's sell the shirts. So the shirts are inspirational, they're aspirational. They remind you that you're not alone, but they also foot the bill for what we as a company aren't in the position to do. But I think it also puts responsibility on our community. Like, hey, we're meeting you here, but if you really want to help heal us, buy this t-shirt. And it's a really practical way for us to engage with our community and our community to engage with us. So that's why we do it. It's not a money thing for us. It's an impact thing, but also, again, 1,000 people is a critical mass. So if we can get 1,000 shirts in 1,000 hands, that means there's a small movement of people who know who we are, what we're doing, and they're interested and bought into it. And from there, we can win.
yes, indeed. Cause again, on paper we're a creative agency, but in reality we're community builders. Again, this is what we're doing. We building community. We strengthening our community. All of this go hand in hand. Yeah. So support. We got a new therapy TL online right now. So check that joint out. We got a new colorway with the BYDT. So yeah, definitely support. Even if you can't support the shirt or you think it's too expensive or it's hard times, we know inflation is crazy right now. We gonna have the postcards up. We got these fire postcards. Shout out Iz, man. He our graphic designer. He went
He's so
crazy.
incredible.
He went crazy. Actually, he designed this too, but those postcards, jeez. But yeah, you can support. It's a lower cost. What is 2 for $5, 3 for $5?
3 for $5 for the postcards.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about a postcard is you can buy one for yourself. They're really beautiful and keep it. And then you can have the 2 left over. You send one to a friend, and maybe you save one for the future, your
friend
homie,
later.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're entering into seasonal depressive season once we hit the fall. So I just wanted us to be equipped. A lot of people don't know how to talk to their friends. And this isn't an ad for we'll talk about the postcards later and seasonal depression and all those things as we move closer to that time. But we're rolling out a lot of things to help equip each other to love each other well during harder seasons, because a lot of times we don't have language for that. And yeah, it takes a lot of capacity to reach a depth with somebody who's suffering. So that's what we're here for. But that's not what we're talking about today. But look out for the postcards. They're on the website.
Yeah.
They're here to
hold on.
encourage us.
They not on the website yet, but they will be.
By the
They
time
will
this
be.
drops, they'll be on the website.
Okay, yeah. So she putting that pressure on me because I don't
It's
want to
not,
ask them to the
no,
website.
you're the
Y'all
GOAT.
see that, right?
There's no pressure. You're the
All
GOAT.
right, let me add that to my list. My list.
Okay, so
my bad. I started thinking about.
No.
Y'all don't listen. All right, let's recap the day. Yo, so Black on Block is from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our setup time was 8:30 this morning. I got in.
AM.
Yes, a.m. I got in last night at like 9 p.m. Went straight to go meet her, and she was out getting drinks and eating.
And you live on Central Time, so
Yes.
there's the time adjustment, and then there was you met me. You had to come pick me up. We also planned on filming last night, so then we left from a couple of drinks, headed to the Airbnb to shoot because our peer space canceled on us, the space that we're in now. Shout out to the space. So last night we probably got in bed maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, yeah, because we had issues. Then we was going to record at the Airbnb, but we had some issues with the camera. It's only me and E right now, so.
Right, and
we
I've
making
been
it
out
work.
here all week.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhat adjusted to LA time, but last night at 3 a.m. I was like, yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. So basically, we've been on our feet all day, and then we basically came straight here.
What was it from 8 until 8? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
8 to 8. Well, we sat down and ate breakfast, but 8 to 8, packed up,
We've been
packed
on
up
the move.
quickly,
Yeah.
returned stuff to Target, drove
Yo,
and picked up
hold on.
food.
We didn't return stuff to Target. Target.
Don't say that, Dave. We returned stuff to a store. We'll bleep that part out. So we left.
Walmart.
Let's not mention any of them because I feel like brand deals with both of them are coming soon.
All right, bet. Shout out Walmart. Shout out Target.
We can't do that. We're not giving free promo to nobody.
All right, don't shout them out.
So we returned things to an undisclosed store.
Yeah.
Then we went and picked up. But shout out to local food spots. We went to Dave's Hot Chicken. I'll support local businesses. We got some good food and then pulled up here and ate sitting in the parking lot because we're on the grind. And then Brandon set up most of this stuff while I made tea.
Hope it looks good. I
And
don't know what I'm doing.
I think everything is leveled up. So that has been our day. It is currently 11 o'clock at night, PST. So for both of us, it's at least 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're now going to recap the day. Go ahead.
And on top of that, first of all, shout out Black on the Block again. We keep
Shout out
doing that,
Black on the
guys.
Block.
We love what they doing. We love supporting others. You never gonna see us hating on somebody because they doing great. That's just ridiculous to us.
There's nothing to do but learn when somebody's
Right,
great.
right,
Even if
right.
you don't like their personality or their style, when somebody's great, learn, period.
Facts. But today, it was our worst vending day we ever had.
In the history of our entire company.
Facts.
And we've done events locally,
Yeah,
we've done Atlanta events, we've done Austin events.
DC. even before this brand, like this was
Oh,
the ones.
facts. We've been all over.
Yeah.
So maybe not worse like ever since before, ever, because I'm sure I've sold nothing several times. But since we've been Build Your Own Dreams and vending, and we've traveled with it before a lot, we've been to, so this is not just us. We didn't just take a chance and then we just floundered. We came out to Black on the Block in February, sold more than we've ever as a brand in a single day.
Yeah, and then DC.
Then we went to Black on the Block DC in June or July, and that beat our best day yet still. And we had our own festival in between there. Now, the whole festival weekend, we sold more than we ever had, but single day, DC was our best ever single day. So we're going off of that knowledge. LA opens up again for this month's Black on the Block. And we're like, we got to get into the LA one.
Super excited. Kicking off the campaign.
We're like, we're going to sell these 1,000 shirts.
The first out-of-state day. Dog, we was pumped. We finna sell 100 shirts today.
Literally, we had exactly 100 shirts today because our merch guy had, we were actually going to have like 200 plus shirts.
Yeah.
Our merch guy had power outage issues. Fortunately, we had brought up everything that we had, and we almost didn't. That was a whole nother thing, the sovereignty of God and just our desire to be prepared for whatever. We had exactly 100 shirts. The most I think we've sold in a day is like 72 or something, 77.
Like that,
In DC, we sold that. And we're not selling like $20 t-shirts. Like our shirts are $40, $50, $60, depending on which shirt you get. So I'm not saying we're like luxury shirts, but we're selling expensive shirts because they're good quality and we're sending people to therapy, so the cost is higher. And we still have to pay our team to process them, all the different things, labor hours, whatever. So we're not taking a direct profit, but we're not robbing our team of their salaries. So anyways, the thought process was we have invested time, energy, and understanding into Black on the Block specifically. There's been strategy to go into it, like even getting certain locations, the way that we promote it. We were just in Forbes with them. They got talked about in Forbes in DC, and then Forbes did a really big piece of the article on us, named Brandon and I by name, talked about the BYOD fund, talked about us wanting to reach this goal before we even had a specific number goal. We just were like, we're trying to send more people to therapy, right? So we're coming in hot. Like, I find out that an author that we work with, there's a book tour. It's happening the same week, so I'm already going to be out here. So we were like, perfect. We only have to get me a one-way ticket home. Brandon found a ticket that wasn't crazy expensive. He found a good Airbnb that wasn't crazy expensive.
Found this dope place that we
found a peer space to record the podcast in.
Yeah.
Then tables and chairs we normally have to like buy and then return to undisclosed stores. This time they had table and chairs available. Black on the Block has expanded so much that at a brand new venue. So this is the energy that we're going into this with.
And I mean, listen, you know what I'm saying? When you MJ, when you Pippen, you in a championship series.
The worst though, it's not even
you lose. You lose the game. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon, it's not even like we were.
It was a blowout.
There's no acting here. I just want to let y'all know there's no acting here because this happened a few hours ago. Like, it's today. We don't have the luxury of like reflecting on this months later. It's today. And I'm not happy because we just spent a bunch of money to come to LA. We're eating on the company card. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything. It's expensive.
We got blown out today. But it's nothing. And again,
we got a bunch of merch printed too, not just even though our 100 shirts.
Again, we got a lot of dates left on the tour, so it's just I don't know. It's nothing against Black on the Block. It's
no. Shout out to them.
It's nothing against us. I think it's just I don't know. It's just you just take L's.
This is what we need to break down. I think we need to explain this though. So
this is okay. Yeah. This is our thought process on what we think happened, but again, I'm just keep saying this because I don't want y'all getting the wrong idea.
Big love to Black on the Block. This has nothing to do with them and everything to do with us growing and learning.
Yes,
that's all it is.
Everything
it's just
we do,
analysis.
Yeah. Everything we do, we gonna whether it work or if it doesn't work, we gonna break it down and understand why that happened. So again, there was their first one at a new venue.
Because it's growing so much. They need more space.
New venue, but the venue was like, it was huge. Like, it was big enough. It had the capacity to hold everybody. I think they had 150 plus vendors.
175.
Inside, outside. But the whole atmosphere, the whole aesthetic of Black on the Block is a block party feeling. And we feel like this venue didn't provide that. Lord,
Did it stop recording?
we in
no, it's
there.
still
We
recording.
in there.
Is your computer dying though?
Nah, we Gucci.
Okay.
All right. So this venue really didn't give the opportunity to bring that vibe out. It felt like more of like an expo type feeling to it, right?
Yeah, it's like a convention center type thing for the arts. So it was ample space.
But it was too spread out. Like,
Yeah.
the outside was downstairs and a little walk away, and then the inside was upstairs on the second floor.
Yeah, it's normally like an indoor-outdoor thing that flows, and
One level.
you can just kind of
Yeah,
bump
yeah,
into
yeah, yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's a party. There's DJs in every section.
Yeah.
Everything just felt siloed. Like the DJs were in a room, and we had a speaker system that was for the entire main area, and then there was the outside area that you said was down 2 flights of stairs, and they were jamming out there, but that's where
It was jamming. Yeah.
all the food trucks were.
And it was people. It was
Yeah,
people
there
there.
were people.
It's just the flow.
A lot of people.
People wasn't flowing like it was the first time. Like, the first time it was just like everybody was just walking through all the. 'Cause even the Riz Dome is what they had it before, and they had different rooms, but like you can go in one end and then out the other, then back in the other room, then out to the other room, then outside.
So it creates like energy too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
flow is good, but then people are like buzzing because you're bumping into people.
Yeah.
That's something that
and
I
then
learned
multiple
about.
DJs
Yeah.
that you can actually, like, as soon as you go into another room, you hear the music and it's DJ, and it's like a whole nother vibe. And then outside had its own vibe, and then the other room had a vibe. So it felt really good, and the flow was just right.
Yes, and flow is major to user experience.
Yep.
And experience design. People don't recognize that, but I will literally move all of the furniture in a room in it during an event to reorient the flow. Flow is people have to feel safe. There's a thing about anxiety. I'm not going to go super deep into this, but this is something I study a lot is experience design. So when people feel anxious or unsure, that's why signage is really necessary, but having enough space to where people aren't bumping into each other too much where they feel uncomfortable and want to leave, but they need to be touching and bumping enough to where it feels like they're at something that's highly desirable. So that's what used to happen when we used to go to the mall. Everybody would be at the mall, and so you kind of bump into people, and you're like, "Oh, my bad, excuse me."
Yeah.
You feel like you're in the spot.
Right.
This space was very nice, but because it was so big, it didn't facilitate bumping into people in the spot, which is the same as the mall or a house party. So then it turned into more of a corporate thing, and they kept making them turn down the music, and it was just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
just
the
a
vibe was
space.
just
Yeah.
off. Not in. It wasn't even negative. It just wasn't the house party that we've been to before.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. So I think that was a part of it. I feel like a lot of the people wasn't as engaged as before. Maybe, I don't know, maybe inflation. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
February,
the time of the year.
I would say February was when LA was really still kind of freshly opening.
And it was Black History Month.
And it was Black History Month. But LA, even, you remember when we were out here, even then, like, they were still pretty strict about people sitting down in restaurants.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's like,
I remember that. Because we couldn't even eat
yeah,
in a restaurant.
they were
Okay,
still
okay,
like
yeah.
very. So people in February were just excited to be out because, especially in LA, that wasn't happening. Now it's like LA doesn't even have mask mandates, which is like one of the last cities to overturn mask mandates. They even still have it at LAX right now. So now people are just like, yeah, there's like stuff to do, so we'll just be out. So this is just one of the things you stop at versus I think in February it was the thing to stop at.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I think I mean, I think those was the two main things that made a huge difference.
And I think people didn't know the venue changed. You know, I got a DM about that. A guy was like, "Oh, I walked over. What's up?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's at a new location." Same with Keenan. When I hit
he
him,
went to the wrong location.
no, he didn't. But I think he
was
thought it
about
was at the
to.
other location, which is so you know, like all those things change.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if my favorite party changes locations, I may not pull up. I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
Don't want to go to a new spot that I gotta.
You got to be
navigate.
careful. Yeah, it's a tough. It's something you really gotta think through. You gotta make sure that the space really gonna match the vibe because we planning our big event in Austin in October and we really thinking through like, all right, like we really gotta make it like.
That's even for Holy Smoke.
Oh yeah,
We're
yeah.
we own a festival called Holy Smoke. Brendan and I own another company called Invite Only with one other partner. And so all three of us all co-own a festival called Holy Smoke. And we call it a music festival so that most people can understand it, but it's a weekend long music experience. So we are very intentional about the type of venues that we choose because it's a multi-day experience. So it's the main music venue, then after party venues, there's a basketball venue, there's an education venue. So we're super intentional about choosing those because we recognize that the feeling of this space matters more than the entertainment that you're bringing to it. If somebody can identify that they had an incredible experience at a space, now that space and that time becomes a hollowed experience, you know? And then connect that with an artist and it's killer. So space is really space is really necessary and doing it well to having a really good event. But keep going. You're saying we're having a big event.
I think those are two main things. So it was a big L, but we did have some small wins.
No. We're not going to do that.
What?
They were major wins. So we took major L's today, money wise. I think even morale wise, right? So again, to keep it completely honest, if you're watching this, it's because you've seen us win, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's watching this because you enjoy the L's that we've taken, right? If you're watching this or listening to this, you've seen us win. We have developed a reputation for winning, which is really encouraging because Brandon and I see the L's every day.
Right. And we still gonna win.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like when, like I tell Sarah,
we're gonna win the series.
She hates that I say this, but I'm like, I'm a phenomenal spades player, and she's like, but you've lost before, and I'm like, that doesn't matter. I'm a phenomenal spade. Like, I'm not mentioning that.
This is game one.
Yeah. So
like we finna win the series. We're gonna hit this goal.
Oh yeah, the goal's gonna
That's
get
what I'm
hit.
saying. Like, we got a ton more dates. But
this
anyways,
was a humbling experience,
right? Yeah.
And it was a very grounding experience because back to the point, you're used to seeing us win. We're used to our output being a win. A lot of times we're taking the losses silently or in the midst, but our output is we are the 89 Hawks, 99 Lakers, 2000 Lakers. We're not quite yet the 96 Bulls. Our aspirations forever and a day will be the 96 Bulls.
Facts.
So we're we're probably the 92 Bulls right now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
A developing team. So let's say we're the 92 Bulls right now. Our goal is to win. So coming into this, we were like, oh, we're going to sell 100 shirts today, yada, yada, yada. To hit, I'm going to tell you the exact number that we sold because y'all got to know how big this L is. We sold 5 shirts.
Crazy.
We sold 5 shirts. 2 of them came in the last hour. So after 6 hours of vending, but really like 9 hours of being there, we had sold 3 shirts. And I was talking to myself at that point because I'm like, I can't have a bad attitude. But I had to feel it for a second. I was like, we only sold 3 shirts. And he kept chuckling, but I had to internalize it and then I had to spit it out. So we sold 5 shirts tonight. And so we're about to run down a few of the things that we learned from this because we recognize the infrastructural issues that could have partook in this, but then we also have to take a lesson from it. But then we're also going to talk about the wins that we had today.
Yeah. How long? Break that down again. We about to talk about the wins.
We could talk about the wins, but there was
What was
some
before?
lessons that we learned.
Oh,
For
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. I think that's part of the win is the lessons that we learn. So one of the things we had to do, we had original setup where it was like a table on each side, like one table here, where people can come in between the table. Just kind of to open up and invite people into the space, which was we thought was cool, but I guess with it being inside, I guess people really didn't know what to do with it. Like they didn't know if they wanted to come into the space or what. Like we had the clothes rack, you know what I'm saying? We had stuff on the table, the shirts, and all the basic stuff. But I guess people just didn't grasp what we was trying to do.
So they just kept walking by our table.
Yeah, they
which
just
never
kept walking
happens.
by. Yeah. Not saying we had a few people stop by,
Yeah.
but and again,
And the crowd was different too, so we're not fully blaming it on ourselves.
right.
But what we were learning in real time.
And another thing is people are seeing the brand. Like we had the oranges everywhere. We had our big Bill YD backdrop. So people seeing the brand. So that's another win. Like they seeing Build Your Own Dream. Just like you put money to an ad. This is kind of what the concept we think is like, this is like our advertisement right now. It's like
Instead of running cold traffic ads on Instagram, we spending $1,000 in a month.
We on the ground.
We're gonna spend $1,000 to go talk to people because 5 people seeing that ad, 10 people seeing that ad is not anywhere as close as 5 people meeting us.
Right. Yeah. So midway through, we was like, dang, let's switch it up. Let's try to make a change to the setup real quick. So we, instead of having a table here and table here, we made like the normal setup where it's a table up front, and then we did like a L shape.
Almost like a backwards L, but then we opened up the L so people could still come in if they wanted, but it immediately met them right
to
when
the
they
front.
were walking
So as
past.
soon as we changed it, we sold like a shirt.
Immediately,
And then
like,
we had like 5 people come up to the table. So it was like, okay. We thought we was finna go crazy. We started feeling.
we were like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
because it was as we were sliding the table up and fixing it, somebody walks by and stops at the edge of the table. Yeah,
But we did have more people stop at the table. It's just a lot of people took our cards. Again, a lot of people was interested. We just didn't close today. That had nothing to do with us or
it was a
anything,
lot
really.
less
It
foot
was just-
traffic too. So it was like we had a way less chance for conversion. It felt like people were less interested in spending money because flea black market was the day before. We're not making excuses, but just observing. But still,
this is the thoughts process that we have. Like we talked about this for the last 4 hours. that we
Yeah,
was there.
and while we were there, we
this
were just
is-
talking about
this
it.
This is what we think through. This is how we strategize. This is how we break down.
But even with the amount of people who stopped by, which is probably maybe like a fifth or an eighth of what we would normally have, even with that, our conversion rate was low.
Yeah,
we
super
typically
low.
convert like one in
Very
every
high.
4 people who
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
by.
yeah.
But when
Very
we were
high.
in DC, we were converting almost every other person who stopped by our table. So for us, even if only 100 people stopped by, typically we probably would have sold 20 to 25 shirts.
Yeah.
And if 100 people stopped by today, we sold 5.
Facts.
Yeah.
So we learned those lessons. We broke that down. You go ahead, tell them who you met.
Okay, so here are the wins. We're going to hit these real good. So we are marketers who study marketers.
Yeah.
And we study non-traditional marketers because we are non-traditional. The way that we market is by building community. We don't do anything else. We build community. So we're always studying non-traditional marketers. My absolute favorite study is Guap Dad 4000, who now goes by Guap. I have been studying him since at least 2019, but I think 2018. He's a genius.
Yeah.
And I tweet this regularly. He's like Kanye level genius when it comes to marketing. People think that it's hyperbole when I'm talking, but I spend hours breaking him down. I consult about people when I'm consulting with people. I do a lot of independent artist consulting. He's always the first person that I recommend, and I'm like, go break him down, and you're gonna see yourself and learn things. So today, I look up from the table, and walking past our table is Guap. So I immediately just walk out like I know him. I just felt comfortable.
Yo, she really did.
Do you know what I'm
No
saying?
cap.
I
I was
saw
like,
him.
yo, because I looked up, I like, that's Guap. And all I saw was Easy walking up. They
Yeah,
was
like
best
normally when
friends.
I see celebs, I try to refrain because I don't really have anything to say aside from, oh, I'm a big fan, or,
Right.
oh, dope, like it's cool that you're a celebrity. Like I don't have much substance, so it's just like, oh, there's that person. But with Guap Dad, I was talking about him to Brandon yesterday. Like
Facts.
talking about how much I admire him. I was talking about he just launched some shirts last week to the team. 6 days ago, I was talking about it to the Excellence Academy.
Yeah.
Braden
I
has that
broke him
quit.
down to a few artists too.
Yeah,
sending
it's just
them
like
content
he's
ideas.
consistently somebody that we discuss.
Yeah.
I see him, I'm like, I'm going to talk. This is my nigga. Like, I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah.
So I walk, I'm like, yo, Guap. I'm like, you're a marketing genius. And he was like, yo, thank you, right?
Yeah, he was super
He
cool,
was super
super
cool. And
cool.
I was like, I tweet about you regularly about how much of a genius you are marketing. And he starts to laugh. He said, yo, me and my manager be seeing those those tweets. And I'm like, thank you, right? So he was like, okay, so what you want? What you want? I was like, this is my brand right here. It's called Build Your Own Dreams. And we work on the marketing side of the music business, which is why I study you. I said, but we sell these shirts to send our artists to therapy. He said, yo, turn your phone around, selfie. We about to get this video. So literally, I'm like, okay, turn the phone around. He just starts doing a crazy drop for BYOD. He's like, even if you don't like the shirts, you need to buy one because they're trying to send 1,000 people to therapy. And he's just big up in the campaign. Then puts the phone back down, takes pictures with
Yeah,
us.
dapping up, but like
Yeah,
he was
like,
super cool. Like he was there for a good like 10 minutes.
Like genuine though, not on some let you love me because I'm a celebrity.
Right,
Because
yeah.
celebrities will kind of play into that. We work with artists all the time. Like, you're not gonna get me, beloved. But he wasn't. He was super genuine, shouted out the shirts, whatever, super dope. So
shout out
that was
Guap.
a major win because that's somebody that we super respect, and he
Yeah.
just pulled up and showed love to the mission. And that's what, like, we don't even care if you like the shirts, yo, which is weird if you don't, but it's okay. It's okay. Everything's not for everybody.
Facts.
But he understood the concept and really believed it, and it was super grateful. So yeah, that was super dope.
Yeah.
That's one person that we met.
mean,
There's another that we met that I don't necessarily want to mention because I don't know where it's going to develop. Not a celebrity, but a business person who's really going to try to champion for the future of what we're trying to do, which is create opportunities for creatives to go to therapy.
Right, yeah. I mean, basically, we met hella dope people. We always meet hella dope people. That's another reason why we invest so much into this tour and going out and being on the ground and really touching the people because you never know who you're going to meet. And for some reason, again, God favor is always on us, and we always meet hella dope people. From consumers to even some dope vendors. Like, we was next to a vendor that's actually from Brooklyn, and she's gonna do Afro Punk, and we doing Afro Punk. So just us being next to them, and she was telling us how Brooklyn is. So that was a dope connection.
Yeah,
Just
God really smiles on us, like you said.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
favor
yeah.
of the Lord is on us when we go to these things. But I think something that's important to note: people can never tell what our competitive edge is. They're always like, "Well, how do y'all know these things and get to do these things, whatever?" You never get to know the stuff that we know sitting behind a desk.
Facts.
Like, you could study Instagram for the rest of time and never know what we know because we're out touching the people.
always.
So we're
That's
gonna
always been a foundation for us.
again, because we're community builders.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
no sense for us to be marketing hip hop, marketing urban music, doing all these things if we don't know what people want or care about. And if we're using ourselves as a social experiment, again, brand partnerships were big. How can we go out and create a brand, tell a story, and be really good at it and use that as the prototype for everything that we do, whether it be with our artists or whether it be with ourselves? Because individually, we're also personal brands,
Right.
but our brand build your own dreams is the hallmark that all of our belief systems come up under. And because of that, it's what we put our most energy into. And from that flourishes all the things that people are unsure about what we do. They just see, oh, we see y'all doing this, this, this. Yeah, really, we're out building community in different cities, and we're learning about the nature of people, what they desire, what they need. And that's led to a huge success rate. So today was a major L in so many ways, but I can't help but walking away. Even sitting here now, this is providence. The fact that we have had an urgency to do the podcast and this was already set up. The assumption was we were about to sit here and be like, we had our best.
Yo, what?
There's so many, there's more lessons to be learned in a failure than success.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We always going to turn those L's into lessons.
So for us, this is equipping us for our block party that happens in October.
Yeah.
It's teaching us that we can never walk in to be overly confident, but also even if on paper we don't win business-wise, the Lord has favored us to open up so many more doors. So I'm grateful for today, even though I was definitely frustrated by the way it turned out. I had to just, live in it, feel it, and then say, okay, we did that. Like, here's the win,
Yeah. I mean, that's it. This was supposed to be a 15-minute episode. We went 40 minutes. We appreciate y'all. Again, we all build your own dreams. Tune into the next podcast. Huh?
Like, subscribe,
all of
comment,
that.
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
everything.
YouTube.
Follow us on the gram.
At just BYOD.
Yeah, Facebook, TikTok.
Our website is justbyd.com. I'm sure we're not doing this right, but everywhere. Follow us.
Yeah.
Shirt.
Tap in, support.